right. Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Makar Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Peace, salutations, and blessings be unto the hopeful elect, pushing his truth in sincerity throughout the four corners of the globe, in the sincere hopes of being delivered in these last days. All right. This is the Brother Yakanan from the GMS England branch, and inspiration for this video is drawn from the elder Apostle Rhymelab. All right, he done a video some hours ago that was entitled "This is done on purpose." All right, this is done on purpose, and I beseech you, brothers, to definitely tune into that video. Great, edifying video that inspired this video that I'm doing now. And basically, the apostle was going into how these, various modifications and changes and implementations that are being made in society is bringing about, the New World Order system. All right, it's bringing about the beast system that's going to require you to receive the MOTB, spoken of in Revelations 13 and 16 on down. Okay, and as I was watching the video that the apostle was doing, it made me think about when the C-19 came into effect over here in the UK, and how many changes, subtle changes, and also major changes were made in society that gradually people just got used to and don't even bat an eyelid at no longer, because they've been gradually molded and conditioned into accepting these things that were changed during that time. Okay, now remember, during the L downs, when they locked everything down, you had all of these telephone companies extolling the 5 to the G. All right, they were installing the 5 to the G everywhere you go. All right, and then all of a sudden the L downs come to an end, and everywhere you go now you're seeing the 5 to the G all over the place. Okay, that was done strategically, and that was done in perfect timing when everyone was locked away in their homes, and when everyone were not working in the offices and weren't carrying out their 9-to-5 jobs, so on and so forth. So that was done for a reason. All right, and that alone tells you, if you're circumspect and if you're redeeming the times, that alone tells you that that whole situation that happened was a pandemic, and it was an agenda, all right, to bring these things forth. Okay, because these are all components that's going to allow the functioning and the smooth transitionability, if that's a word, of the MOTB to actually work. Okay, these were the key components. All right, so none of these things happened by coincidence. It was all done on purpose. It was all engineered, all right, to bring about a particular effect and environment that they're molding around you day by day. All right, but people that are switched off, that are not watching, they have no clue that these things are happening. All right, but at the same time, you do have a handful of people that know what's going on and are exposing the agenda. All right, but beginning with the prophets of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. All right, and also you have particular insiders and whistleblowers, so on and so forth, that are revealing certain things. Okay, but really they're revealing these things so we the hopeful elect, the prophets of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, can actually filter these events and things that are happening through the Holy Scriptures. All right, because if you don't know how to do that, then the information is useless. All right, you can know all you want about the society and, you know, the plans of the elites. But if you can't filter that information and the things that's going on through the Holy Scriptures, then the information is really useless, okay? So that's why we have to give thanks, you know, to Yahweh Shem Yahushai, that we actually have this truth. And we're able to filter through the Holy Scriptures the events that's playing out upon the face of the earth. Because what does it all lead back to? It all leads back to, you know, the MOTB, all right? So we are circumspect and we're looking, okay? We are watching, all right? Because Yahweh Shai said to watch and pray, okay? So pursuant to Ephesians 5:15, okay, we are being circumspect, all right? Which means to look around. And we're redeeming the time, you know, because the days are evil, okay? The things that they're planning around you, okay, and implementing, these are some real evil things. These are some real, you know, unrighteous decrees as pursuant to Isaiah chapter 10 and 1 on down. Okay? And they're about to push these policies and, you know, push these decrees, unrighteous decrees, in order to cement, you know, this new world order system that they want everyone to be, you know, ingrained in, man. All right? So there's some very serious things happening. Now, another thing I noticed in the time of the L downs, and I've spoke about this in various other, you know, different videos, but, you know, we can't go into this stuff, you know, enough, so I'm going to go into it again. Another thing I noticed is that they were doing a lot of road works over here in the UK, all right? So I'm going to speak from a UK perspective, all right? Because I travel, you know, pretty much all over, you know, the UK, all right, with the, you know, the particular job that I have. You know, it gives me the opportunity to, you know, go to different places. And one thing I noticed, and I first noticed it in the city, is that all of the roads, you know, were being, you know, blocked off and turned into bicycle lanes. All right, many roads were turned into bicycle lanes, and many roads that were like, for example, 30-mile-per-hour roads, 40-mile-per-hour roads were then transitioned and transformed into 20-mile-per-hour roads, okay? Which shows you that there's an agenda to get rid of the ability for, you know, people to drive and to have private ownership of cars, okay? So that's why they were taking away, you know, roads, okay, and turning them into bicycle lanes and limiting, you know, the speed that you can drive to 20 miles per hour, which is very annoying. You know, you be driving and you can only go 20 miles per hour, then you got cameras set up, all right, to give you a ticket if you breach, you know, that 20 miles per hour, which then does what? All right, that then equals to people getting more points upon their license. And that then equals people getting their licenses revoked. And that then equals what? Less people on the roads, man. Okay, so it's all an agenda. You have to understand, when it tells us in there, Psalm 64, that, you know, concerning the elites on the left-hand side, that their mind is deep, that's not no joke. All right, their mind is deep. They really, you know, have particular think tanks and people that are dedicated to craft, you know, these particular processes and these particular things that are happening in society. And they have deadlines too. Okay, they say, look, all right, well, if we do this, you know, we'll get, you know, 10,000 extra people banned, you know, every year, which is gonna, you know, then, you know, aid to our goal, you know, our 2030 agenda, so on and so forth. Okay. So there's think tanks behind these things that are engineering society and molding it, you know, gradually into what you know right now. All right, and like the Elder Apostle mentioned, you have the 15-minute cities. I believe there's another thing called the 12-minute cities as well. All right, and they've been trialing it out. They have various different pilots over the UK. I know they were doing it in Oxford, and there's a few other, you know, UK locations that were doing it too. Okay, so that's happening. All right, they've already set up cameras for that. They're already trying it out and testing it out, and, you know, getting the people used to these ways of being. Okay, so that whole, you know, carbon footprint technology and, you know, restricting what you can buy, and, you know, that's all coming into play. Don't worry about it. They're already setting it up. I was in the shop last week, or 2 weeks ago. You know, it was me and the brother Carl Bay. We was in the Audi, and Audi is basically not Audi. We was in Asda, okay, and Asda is basically the Babylonian equivalent of what's it called? What's that shop called, man? You brothers know what I'm talking about. you know what, it's left me now, but it's basically the Babylonian equivalent of one of the major stores over there, you know, in America. You know, the main, you know, big store. It's not called Target, it's another one. Walmart, all right? I believe it's Walmart. Kala Yaba Shem Yao Shai, Walmart, all right? Salakia. My mind went blank. But, you know, the Asda over here is basically the Babylonian equivalent, the American equivalent of your Walmarts over, you know, in the land of America, man. All right? And what we noticed is that, you know, they put up these gates at the self-checkout points where, you know, they only open if you, you know, scan your receipt. All right? So you have to scan your receipt in order to actually get out. Or, you know, I think it was basically a thing where they hadn't actually put that technology in there, but they was basically preparing for that. You know, they were preparing for that technology. And then there was another, you know, slot in one of the barriers where you could see it was like a cutout of a square where they could put the technology where you would have to scan your hand, okay? Similar to the, you know, the Amazon Palm Reader, you know, technology. But it wasn't installed yet. But you could see that that was gonna be installed at a later date, all right? So it just shows you that all of these things are actually, you know, being put in place and are being put in motion, man. It's just a gradual, you know, it's a gradual process, okay? And the elites are very patient, man. Don't get it twisted, okay? They've planned these things for decades, man. They've had these agendas for decades. But more importantly, these things have been prophesied about in the Holy Scriptures for thousands of years, man. Okay? And they're now coming to pass because of the words of Yahweh Shemi Yahushai. Now, as it says in Isaiah 55:11, so shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth, and it shall not return unto me void. So these things are going to happen. These things are going to come into fruition, and these things are going to be implemented into society to the point where you are going to require, okay, to have, you know, a CHIP in your hand so you can shop in a supermarket. Okay, that day is going to come, and it's going to come real soon. The day is going to come where you're going to need a CHIP, all right, in order to have a job, okay, to work and to function and to exist on the grid that Esau Edom is creating before your very eyes, man. Because that's what he's doing. He's updating the grid. Okay, this grid that, you know, we live on right now, this grid that I'm driving through right now, you know, one day you're not going to be able to go to certain places, just like China, if you don't have, you know, the adequate, you know, information on you, okay? Which is going to basically be, you know, the MOTB technology, okay? And in China, they have actual checkpoints to get into particular, you know, boroughs, so on and so forth. And if you don't, you know, you scan your face and it shows that, you know, you ain't got the credentials to get into that particular borough, then them gates won't open. That's already functioning in China, man. Okay, this technology is already, you know, being used in China. Okay, so it's already on the earth right now, man. But it's gonna come to the Western world. All right, so we're living in a very, very beautiful time right now, man. These prophecies are coming to pass. So you false prophets out there, all right, that are not talking about these issues, or like the elder apostle was saying, you know, now you're bringing it up just to save face. All right, how about Shimi Al-Shai sees through you, man? Okay, because you should have been talking about these things. You should have been exposing, you know, the MOTB, okay? Because the apostles have been exposing this, man. All right, for decades, man. So you want to jump on the bandwagon now? It's too late. Okay, it's too late, man. It's already here. All right, you haven't been thoroughly warning the people, man. But Great Millstone have been thoroughly warning the people, and now so more than ever, because we're in that time. All right? Can't no one say that Great Millstone weren't talking about, you know, the MOTB and weren't warning you for decades about the MOTB, man, beginning with Elder Apostle Tahar on down to the other apostles and elders and younger brothers. No one can say that, man. Okay? And that's more proof as to who the men of Yahweh Shimi Al-Shai actually are in these last days, man. All right? So with that, you know, Lord willing, this video was edifying. And until the next time, I'll say shalom.